Feel
in
like
it.
your beard
Man,
is.
hold
Feel what
up.
you say your beard.
Hello, everyone. This is Antonio with Team Tiggio. We coming at y'all with our first episode of King Talk. Everybody's that's on the panel today, they're going to get an opportunity. We got one more person that will be joining us a little later, but right now I'm gonna let the gentlemen on the panel introduce themselves, and then we're going to talk about the topic that we're going to be speaking about tonight. So, Maxwell, you can go and introduce yourself, and um, and then we'll have Buck Rogers introduce himself next.
Hello, everyone. My name is. They call me Maxwell. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I reside in Douglasville, still in Georgia. I'm a Georgia native. Um, Family man, and glad for Mr. Tiggio to have me on the podcast.
No problem. And we're gonna be coming with you with at least once a week, once a week with King Talk, because these topics of discussion is needed. All right. So next we're gonna have Mr. Buck Rogers. Introduce yourself. Tell them
Buck
about your
Rogers.
show that's going to be coming soon, and let's go from there.
Buck Rogers, Savannah native, born and raised, father of five and one grandson. I do have a little comedy special. We're gonna be airing on Tiggio Studios. It's called the Buck Cooper Comedy Show. We gonna set it off for y'all. We gonna try to be real. We gonna try to be authentic for y'all, man. So y'all just get ready.
All
That's
right,
what's
get
up.
ready. Get ready for the Buck Cooper show. It's gonna be dynamic. But the I saw a topic somebody posted on Facebook, and this topic it had a lot of buzz when the individual posted it. So I was like, because this wasn't the original topic we was going to talk about, but when I saw this person talk about it, I was like, you know what? This is a huge topic because people fall in love, they fall out of love, but kids are permanent. They are extension of that relationship. Um, and in that retrospect, let's talk about some aspects and let's set this thing up. Let's set it on fire. So I'm gonna read some stuff, and then once I read the stuff, then we're gonna go from there, and y'all give y'all opinions on the aspect of child support. Now, if you're getting ready for a divorce, you probably have this question on your mind: how much is child support? If you contemplating divorce or are just curious, you should know how child support is determined. The amount withheld from your paycheck might surprise you. You can also ponder how much a monthly payment should be appreciated and what parent spends the most. All right. So, what does child support cost? Before issuing a format support order, the court will evaluate your child support obligation by consulting the state's child support standards. There are numbers, there are numerous variables, just like with any average. Lower income parents might not have enough gross income to cover child support payments, while wealthier parents may have to make larger monthly payments. Your total monthly net resources are taken into account in every state. In every state. All right. In addition to whether you are the non-custodial parent, how much the other parent makes in comparison to you. In other aspects, like whether you are the other parent, will provide health insurance coverage for the kids. Who will pay for educational costs and who will pay for other child care costs. Child support amounts are determined. There are many circumstances that affect how much each parent will actually pay in child support. But the basic rule is that obligation is shared by both parents in proportion to their wages. And I think that's where some people get it offset it. But we're going to really dive into this. I got a couple more paragraphs, and then we're going to open up the panel. For the purpose of calculating child support, the income of the custodial parent may occasionally be imputed and assumed. This typically occurs when the custodial parent is unemployed or not performing to the fullest capacity at their job. Child support will be calculated by the court based on potential gross income by the custodial parent, which will be determined by variables including education and employed history. According to Census Bureau reports from 2010, the typical monthly child support payment is $430 per month. Again, this should be only used as an estimate since it is simply an average of the monthly amounts of child support payments made throughout the United States. The amount the court decides will be based on your specific circumstances and financial resources. So now that we have gotten that monologue out the way, child support is such of a extreme divide for male and female. The lady look at men like men are the providers. We should always pay the bulk of child support. Even if they make more money, they still look at us men that we should pay the most. And in that, what I just read, that came from the Census Bureau, it says that although the custodial, the Census Bureau is saying that both parties should contribute. And if I said the word wrong, just take it out of love. Now let's go to Buck Rogers, since he got more kids than everybody. How do you feel about the aspect of child support? And have you been on child support?
I definitely have. I've been on child support with my oldest daughter. And I think I was paying about $167 a month or whatever the case may be. But I mean, of course, I knew back then, and I was 18, 19 years old, that it took more than that. So I always provided more, for my child, but because I wanted to. You feel me? Like,
you was paying $167 per month or per week?
Per month.
167
measly dollars per month.
Okay, so let me ask you this: did y'all ever beef about that 167 when she felt that it wasn't enough?
We never beef about that because I was already, even before she decided to do the child support thing, I was already like taking care of my daughter. You feel what I'm saying? Like I was really like taking care of my daughter.
So let me ask you this: when she put you on child support, were you surprised about the aspect of, oh, she put me on child support, or you knew before she did it?
Well, yeah, I kind of, sort of, in a sense, she mentioned it when at the time, my girlfriend at the time was pregnant. And when she found out that my girlfriend was pregnant, she was like, she was gonna put me on child support. Now I didn't believe it, because why would you put a person on child support who definitely provided for your child? And back then we were young, so I was the sole provider outside of what her mom would be doing because she wasn't working. You feel me?
Right.
So I ended up getting a paper in the mail or whatever, summons to go to court or whatnot, and it just went from there. But it was out of spite, more so out of the necessity, because I wasn't paying, child support. I wasn't taking care of my daughter. It was more out of spite, and I was only ordered to pay 157. I could have been bitter and paid that 167, but because me paying child support was not it wasn't based on how I felt about my baby mama. So of course, whatever I was doing, I was already, what I'm saying, I was already taking care of my kids, so it wasn't no big deal for me. I never had a problem with it.
So hold that thought. I got another question, but I want to bring in Maxwell, and I want to know, how do you feel about the aspect of child support, and if you and do you think that child support is a good or bad thing? Let's go in that aspect.
Good question. First of all, I think child support is some bull jive. First of all, I don't believe in child support. If you got, there are fathers out here that take care of their kids and don't need child support. I think, like Mr. Rogers said, you have a lot of bitter people, whether it's the man or the woman. You know what I'm saying? And because there might have been a bit of breakup or whatever the case may be, they think that running to the man to separate the household and everything it goes deeper than child support. Me personally, I was fortunate enough to be blessed where I'm not on child support. I have 3 kids, and I take care of my kids fully. I've been in their life. Well, actually, 4 kids. I took care of one that wasn't mine, but she's still considered mine today. And I've been to the court system, and I was able to go through without having to pay child support. You know what I'm saying? Georgia, every state is different. Some states don't care, some states do. But I can tell you this: the best advice I can give you about child support is go before she go. Go talk to the people before she go talk to the people, because once she go down
Buck,
there,
I'm coming to you.
because once she go down there, they're gonna clarify you as the deadbeat dad. That's what my lawyer.
So have you ever felt okay? So have you ever felt like a deadbeat dad? And before, and I want to say this: for this episode alone, we don't want to trash the woman. This
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do
just
that.
saying we don't want to trash.
I'm just strictly talking about child support. I'm not going to trash. I'm not here to trash anybody. To answer your question about, you said how I felt when I got hurt. I had got hurt one time and I felt less of a man. But as far as taking care of my kids, that was just something like automatic, like going to work every day. That was never an issue with me. You know what I'm saying? My mom took care of me. You know, my parents took care of me. So I was already trained to take care, take care of my household. Granted, the relationship wasn't we went our separate ways, but I still, no matter what, I still maintained and took care of my kids at the end of the day.
I'm gonna be an advocate for child support, because now there are some cases where child support is necessary. It's necessary.
Elaborate. Why is it necessary?
Because you might have an absent father. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, of course, that absent father.
If he can't be with the woman, he just leave the child or kids too. It does happen. Now those types.
So let me ask this question. Since you say that, how much do you? Okay, you say you paid $167. I'm not about to tell you how much. I'm not about to tell you how much they wanted me to pay.
Share it, because people. This is a community where people are going to look at this video. There are people paying child support. I just read the average is $430, but people are paying a lot more.
That wasn't my average.
Child support. They was kind of.
Go ahead, Buck.
Put it like
Don't talk over each other. Don't talk over each other. One at a time. Who going?
They were doing it by, they were doing it by both of the incomes or whatever. You feel me? I wasn't making a lot of money back then. You feel me? So I was only paying $167, and I just thought that was a slap in the face. I'm the man, and I'm ordered to pay it, but I'm thinking that's a slap in the face to the mama.
Okay, so not to share your business, but didn't your daughter stay with you? But the mama had the child. But hold on, let me get it out. She stayed with you, but didn't the mama have the child support card?
For 2 years, my daughter stayed with me, and see, that's the thing. I wasn't never tripping the child support because we never really had issues as far as my daughter. Like, my daughter would be back and forth between both of us. So, like,
but for 2 years, your daughter stayed with you, but she had the child support card.
After the first year, with me being on child support, she had the card for like 2 years, and I was trying to do everything to get the card back. You feel me?
I didn't know that.
I could get the card back because now you still operating out of spite.
Okay.
You still operating out of spite.
So who, you or her?
Her.
Okay, her.
My kid's mom. But as things progress, she did send it. She sent the card back.
Okay.
You feel me? The next year, my daughter went back up to stay with her mom in Connecticut because her mama moved, so she moved to Connecticut, and she went to stay with her mama after she graduated from middle school. And at that time, she gave the card to my daughter.
Okay.
You feel me? And every month she let her spend it how she want to spend it, which was that's a good deal for me because I mean. I'm somebody, like I said, I don't have an issue with taking care of my kids, dog.
I'm bringing you in, Maxwell.
I got a question to ask, Buck.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you think it's a limit on how much, if you're paying child support, do you think it's a limit on how much you should pay, or should it be a cap off? Being your
I think
situation, you saying your
what
daughter staying with you and everything.
what I think it should be. For one, I think like the courts and all that, they need to be reasonable. For one, don't
Okay.
just base it off the income. Base it off of everything that a man or a woman got going on. A man might have a mortgage or rent. He might have, he got bills to pay too. Don't just X all of that out and just go based off his income. You feel what I'm saying? And reward the female for her making the decision to have a baby with somebody she probably already knew wasn't gonna be there like that for the kids. You
So
feel
how
me?
did let me ask you this? How did your girlfriend at the time feel about you blatantly putting on child support? And you probably knew, but she probably didn't know. And at the time, $167 probably was a lot of money at that at your age, as early
Boy,
20s.
boy, $167 wasn't no, because I was buying my daughter shoes for over $100 back then. So no, it
Okay.
wasn't. It wasn't a lot of money. I never looked at it as a lot of money. But
But the baby mama could felt some kind of way because here
I
it
mean, I'm
is.
sure. See, and this is the part of child support that slaps some women in the face. Because when you're doing it out of spite and you thinking you're gonna get X amount of dollars, and now when they reward you with what you get, you gotta accept that. I could have been
Mm,
bitter and stood on what the court said pay, but I'm not looking out for my kid based off of how I'm feeling about her mama. I'm looking out for my
okay.
daughter because that's my daughter. So there
Okay.
wasn't a limit to what that I would do for my child. Like, it wasn't a limit.
Okay.
And I
So
think a lot of dudes get caught up. A lot of dudes, because here again, I know a lot of dudes that's good parents, that's good dads to their kids. And unfortunately, they do have to pay child support. And what come with them having to pay child support is the women use that as a crutch for them to not see their kids or to control, how those dudes act, or how they, you know what I'm saying? And I
right.
think that's the saddest part of it right there.
I'm coming
That's
to
the
you,
saddest
Maxwell.
part of it right there.
So let
I
me
just
ask you this, Maxwell. Let me ask you this. How much did the courts want you to pay? You don't have to say a definite number, but give a roundabout figure.
it was more than 1,500 a month.
So that's roughly,
That's
because you
what,
got
three
three
kids, two
kids.
kids, or three
That's
kids.
three kids. Three
Three,
kids. See,
three.
three. So that's roughly almost like $500 per
It
child.
it was more, actually. It was more than that. I'm just down. I'm just
But
down in it.
what I'm saying is, like, if like that right there, I honestly tend to believe situations like that be excessive, because you're not looking at you. It's like, pay your child support. You pay that amount of money for child support, and now you got to struggle to live. You got to struggle to pay your bills. You feel what I'm saying? It's not, once you get caught up in that system, there is no lookout for the man in most cases.
Okay.
And mind you, I'm gonna take care of them from day one. Health care, roof over their head, clothes, doctor appointments, doing everything that a normal father
And,
should
and
do.
I
Now,
get
if I would have had to pay child support, I ain't gonna lie, I would have felt bitter. I would have felt bitter, and I would have said, "What you
because
get is what you get.
right,
What you get
but
is what
I'm
you
just
get."
saying, you would have felt bitter because you in your kids' lives, so it was no need for that.
Mhm.
You feel
Okay,
me?
so this is where we're going to segue in, and Aaron should be coming on soon. I know he's it was an accident on the road. He's going to be the fourth panelist today. So the topic of today is, if you had to pay child support, how much is the necessary amount you feel that you should pay uh per month?
I honestly think, and I'm just being honest. Like, I honestly think, if it came to that, if it's not like boyfriend and girlfriend type situation, you
No,
feel me?
it said marriage. It clearly said
Okay, okay.
marriage.
In a marriage situation, I honestly feel like they should consider both of the parents like living situations. Don't just base it off the income, base it off the living situations. Cause okay, we split up, we moved, she moved, her rent might be $500. My rent might be $1,200.
Was she staying in the gutter for $500?
No, I'm just hypothetically speaking. I'm just hypothetically saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a lot of the cases too, now these women file for food stamp, they file for Section 8 after marriages and all that too, and they getting that. So if you on Section 8 and I'm paying $1,200 to live someplace, I got to pay you $8, $9, $1,000 a month.
And not only that, I found out if you apply for something called TANF, they automatically put you on child support.
If you apply for what now?
I think it's called TANF or something like that. They automatically.
I think, bro, this and this fact, and I always thought this way. Dive deep, like dig into these people's lives, dig into these people's real lives, because a lot of the times you hurting these dudes, like these dudes going to work and working 40, 60, 80 hours a week, bro. And coming home with $136 after they check, after taxes and after the child support being taken out, they check.
They're working how many hours?
40, 60, because you got to think if they paying that type of child support, they working a lot of overtime. Tony, you got more to try to compensate for that. Hey, Tony,
I don't think they should. First of all, I don't think it should be based off child support. I think it should be based off how much time you spend with your kids, because all that play a factor too. You know what I'm saying? You can't just look at paying child support. You got to look at, well, is that mother or father in that child's life as well? You know what I'm saying? Because you're paying child support, not in that child's life, you still not getting what need to be done, because you still absent all the way around. You know what I'm saying? That's like when you go get your paperwork. When you get your paperwork, first of all, if you're not married, get your kids legitimized. Get visitation rights. You know what I'm saying? Get it set up where you have rights to your kids. Point blank, period. So like me, I don't have an estimate for it. I don't have an estimate for you. Me personally, I'm not paying no child support.
I don't think it's an estimate that you can give, because earlier today, me and Tony was talking about it, and it varies from month to month. Like I explained to him, your child might need $900 this month. Next month, he might only need $250, $300. So it does vary from month to month. Because I'm saying something about child support. Okay. Let's say for instance, you got a child, you paying $1,200 a month for child support, right? For one kid, you paying $1,200, right? Now your money is to help the mama, right?
Supposedly.
Right. So let's say you got the daycare, let's say he doing football or something like that. But let's just say his fees for that month total only $700, right?
Okay.
Right. The baby mama not finna send you $500 back. Now everything being taken care of up under your $1,200. You feel me? She ain't putting on nothing, because that $700 coming out the $1,200 you sending her. You think she gonna send you $500 back?
And child support don't. And another thing, may I add to what Buck's saying? Child support don't pay your light bill, your cable bill. Don't pay. No. I'm just saying because you know how you got some we're talking about. Well, I need my bill paid, or like you remember back in the days how people the parents they put the light bill in the kid's name, the phone bill and stuff like that. That's not to me. That's not child support. Your house. If you can't pay your lights. If you can't pay your life, that's not his responsibility. That's your house. That's your bill to pay.
Right. Guess what? Because you're gonna still have them bills if them kids wasn't there. You're gonna
so let me bring Aaron in, AK Operation Cash Flow.
What's up, AK Operation Cash Flow?
Thank you for joining the panel.
Right from the work scene here, but I didn't want to miss too much of the conversation. So
I appreciate you joining. So the topic of discussion is we're speaking about child support. It doesn't necessarily mean everybody on the panel is on child support or not on child support. None of us on the panel is actually on child support, but all of us on the panel has children. And it's what we basically are talking about, the circumstances of how much will be afforded, or how much do you think or feel if you and your spouse separated, that you should pay for child support. So I see Tony is a little arrogant because he is saying and you said, I'm not going to pay child support.
Because I take care of my kids.
A
There's no
lot
reason
of
for child support.
Tony, a lot of people take care of their kids and they on child support.
Well, again,
now one
like
thing
I
you
told,
can't say
like
is,
I
listen,
explained to you
Everybody
earlier,
on this
I'm one of the,
panel.
Maxwell, one
like
thing
I
you can't
explained to him
say is,
earlier, I'm
listen,
one of the
one
lucky,
thing,
I'm one of the
hold
lucky
up.
ones. Like
one
I
thing,
explained to him
listen,
earlier, I'm one of the lucky ones. I did my
listen,
research. I don't have that to worry about. I got my
you,
kid legitimized. I got 50-50 rights. I don't pay no child support. You know,
it's
when
nothing wrong with that, but a man can't say he's not gonna pay
Go
it,
ahead,
because if you
Aaron.
ordered to pay it, you gonna pay it.
oh yeah,
Exactly. Go ahead, Aaron.
Like even what Tony was just saying, when he mentioned that zero, if your child support is supposed to be made for when the supporting a child where support is needed. So if you having joint custody over your kids and things like that, equal people are contributing, there's no need for child support. You know, so that's what
Exactly.
child support made for. You know, when women was running around out here, and you know, they had no income coming in to help them. So if it's a joint custody, that's why a lot of guys try to go for the joint custody role and get joint custody and have previous proof of, hey, I'm paying stuff in, then you shouldn't have to pay for child support. You know, it's not like it's a marital support. But I did do some like quick research on a couple of things inside Georgia. They did look at the two incomes of the parents. Now, the two incomes of the parents, they don't have to deal with, you know, say if it doesn't, if the person or people remarried or if they did anything like that, it's a parent's income that they look at as far as when they coming up with the number of however what they're doing inside their equation. But to answer your question, that yeah, it should be, you know, child support has a good purpose. You know, I was on, you know, my dad did back then, you know, you could get away from paying child support. It wasn't to the very end that they caught up with them, made them pay some rears, you know, at the end. But it did, I mean, you know, it does serve a purpose. But, you know, some people, unfortunately, the people who are doing what they're supposed to do, as far as child support, have to suffer for the people who just don't pay for the kid. You know,
And
hey,
that's where
abortion. I was reading one day, like, you know, and like it's hearsay. I was looking at some things the other day where, you know, this can't be considered fact because it's, you know, it doesn't have the full truth and like really. But it was like when it was talking about some future when he was talking about, he was threatening one baby mom was telling her to have an abortion, and when she had an abortion, he got all irate to just cut her off. And then a lot of guys, that's also a sign of saying that, hey, you know, she didn't have an abortion, so it's like, you know, you taking this out of my hand. I ain't paying no child support. I told her not to have it. So I know a lot of that's out there too. But let me where. Well, I hand it back to you, Tony. As far as that's what my opinion on the situation is.
Okay, so let's dive into this. How do y'all feel? And I'm gonna go to you first, Buck. Right? How do you feel about a man who's faithfully paying his child support every month? His child is legitimized, but the mother still attempt to keep the child away from the father.
okay.
How do you feel about that, Buck?
Of course, that's messed up. That's retarded, and that just shows sign of bitterness when it comes to that person.
Right.
Because if I'm doing, and that's the thing I believe, and I had to learn this myself after my marriage. You know, focus on your children. Whatever she doing, whatever I'm doing, is none of each other's business. As long as our kids good, then you know we good. There's no bitterness. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing everything, if I'm like me, I'm a father. You feel me? Like I feel like I'm more than a daddy because I do dang near everything: doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, school conferences. Like I'm doing all of this stuff. You feel me?
Right.
Feeding them, picking them up, dropping them off. So it's like everything she doing, I'm doing it. And the majority of the time I do more. But it's because I want to. You feel me? It's because I want to. So when I do see posts about child support and deadbeat daddy, this and that, I feel it to an extent because, like, okay, we talking about one child. I got 5 kids. You feel me? So
Right.
there is never a certain amount of money. I was telling my one of my partners just earlier today, where this is just the middle of the month, and I know for sure I'm well over $1,000 as far as, you know, dishing out to my children. You feel me? So
Right.
next month I mean, because it's Christmas, it'll probably be even worse. But you know, January, it might not be that much money. You know what I'm saying? February, it might be a different amount of money. It's not an exact number you could put on providing for your children. And I think if you're a good daddy and a good mother, because see, child support, it might stress daddy, but mama's got to play their part too.
Some mamas got to pay their part, and some mamas actually pay child support also. So let me go to you, Aaron.
Wait a minute, boy. Let me finish. If you're a good daddy or you a good mama, you won't put a cap on when it comes to necessities. You won't put a cap on what your kids need or your child needs. You won't put a dollar amount on that.
Right.
I just don't feel like you'll put a dollar amount on it. You're gonna get the job done. Simple.
Okay. So I'm gonna come to you last, Tony. I know you never been on child support, Aaron. I'm just saying maybe you got experiences from friends that you saw this happen to. They're good dads. Because I don't have any friends that don't take care of their children. I just don't. But maybe things that you have saw where, and I'm gonna give I'm gonna talk about one of my actual siblings that went through this. So how do you feel about this, Aaron? AK Operation Cash Flow.
Yeah, I agree with Maxwell earlier, but I do not agree with his wardrobe choice in the background there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's how they ugly.
Everybody see this video. I don't agree with everything that Maxwell did.
I did want to talk about his mama house coat in the background, but come up with your mama house coat. Come up with your mama house coat.
It's fine, but I mean, you know, it's a really dirty move. I believe that, you know, when a man is paying his part of trying to see his kids in the court is very quick. Like, you get that child support move pretty fast, you know. But you can't, as far as custody, then it's like a big old hearing, you know, for that. It's got a big old this and that, but it just seemed like a person only had to be present to put some child support in there. But we got to do everything with custody and got to see the kids or something like that. You know, it's like this big old thing that has to be done. And I just believe that they should be just as quick in those situations, as far as when women are being spiteful about not letting them see their kids, and then there should be also a punishment for them. Maybe it should be a fine for that. You know, then maybe, you know, if the guy goes in the rear and he get locked up and stuff like that, they should really enforce it when women acts inappropriately, as far as not following the visitation rights or not allowing the men to see their kids. So I go back.
And what about you, Tony? I know you have a good. I mean, y'all may have differences, but I know your baby mama has never.
I'm just saying, but real quick, since you know we put jokes out here, Aaron, I need to know: did you get that study from Tony Mama?
I couldn't think about how to roll it down.
I quit.
I'm gonna let you have it, but but don't go too far, because I'm coming back.
To answer a question, I know people who baby mothers have done that, and actually, if you got your kids legitimized and they do that, you can hold them in contempt. I know a personal person. They went to court twice, and the judge told her if she do that again, she can get fined and go to jail, even lose a child. She did it a week later, and he got awarded full custody of his child.
Good.
He had a child, and he had a child ever since. Like I said, but it all depends on. One thing I hate about men, especially us, we be so scared of going to the man that you're really protecting yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the knowledge and the know-how to know what you're asking for, don't just say, "Oh, I want to go put myself on child support." You want to show them that you want rights. You want to see your child. You want visitations. When you go from when I did my legitimate when I did mine, I went to my lawyer. She asked me what I wanted. And I told her, I said, I'm not paying child support. She said, what you mean? So I explained her my situation. I said, I've been taking care of my kids since day one. I take care of the health care, everything comes to me. They've been staying with me since day one. I had a paper trail. She said, you got a paper trail? I showed her a paper trail. So she was like, well, technically, you can get full custody of your kids. He said, because you are the primary and the stable parent in this situation. You're more stable. So then when that happened, I told her, I said, I don't want no child support from her. I said, only thing I want is 50-50 straight down the middle. And even at that, even though I know she don't do as much as I do, that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I told her was so how she worded everything straight down the middle. I get my kids every other day, every other weekend. Sometimes I have my kids more than that, which don't bother me. So being that from my experience, if you go down there and tell them, because I went to 4 different lawyers, the first 3 told me I had to pay child support. They weren't trying to hear nothing. They was like, you gotta pay child support. I said, how? They was like, because it's not for the men. I said, what you mean? So my last lawyer I went to was a lady. And I went to her, matter of fact, she's the state judge of Georgia right now. When I went to her and I told her what I had, and she said it's an open closed case. She said she said it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing to worry about. So when I did it, and my kid's mother, she didn't give me no problem. She signed it because I told her, I said, I don't want nothing from me. I don't want no child support from me. I said, you can give me my kid. I don't want nothing from me.
Well, what if she contested that, your journey would have been allowed. If she contested it, it's a chance you would have lost.
But this the thing. If she contested, she had to have grounds to fall on. She had to show down neglect.
Okay, let me read this.
What helped me out, I had help, because that's the first thing my lawyer asked me. Do you have help? Someone stay with you? Because I told her, because he said, what kind of occupation? I said, I'm a truck driver. She said, oh, she said, you got somebody stay with you? At the time, my mom stayed with me. My mom just moved up. I said, yeah. She said, okay, that helps your case because you have stability, somebody to help you. He said, your mom in good stand? I said, yes. So being that stand, my case was already solid. She just like if I want to go show that she's an unfit mother,
your case was
you have to show you have to show neglect. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to deny you. Judge is not going to deny you from wanting to spend time with your kids. The problem occurs when you don't ask for those things. They're only going to give you what you ask for. If you just say you just want to put yourself on child support and you don't say nothing about visitation, they don't care nothing about that, because once you ask for visitation, you got to take parenting classes. It's a lot of other things you got to do when you get your kid legitimate. But if you don't ask for none of that stuff, you don't get it. They're gonna give you exactly what you ask for.
And I think every case too is totally different. A lot of times, these women know what type of man you are. You feel me?
Exactly.
They know what type of man you are. So I can
elaborate
say,
on. Okay, I'm kind of elaborate on that. What do you mean they know what kind of man you are?
What I'm saying, and I'm only speaking for me, from my experiences with my kid's mom. You feel me? After I got divorced,
okay,
whatever.
So you mentioned a baby mom, but then you got a kid's mom. You got to elaborate.
Yeah, I got an ex-wife.
Okay.
And we got 4 kids together. You feel me? Now, one of them is not my biological child. She was 2 when I met her. You feel me?
Okay.
And she's 24 now. But I've never called her my stepchild. She's been my daughter since day one. Like, my ex-wife know what type of man I am when it comes to my children. You feel me? Yeah. Out of anger, one day you threw out the child support. And you threw out the child support because you said I was doing too much. You wanted me to stop doing so much for them kids. You feel me? Now, I've never even heard a man get threatened about child support for doing too much for those kids, but this is what happened. But I knew it was out of anger, more so than, something she was going to do or whatever. And I simply told her, go ahead. You will get what I give you. Whatever they ask you, whatever they ask me to give you, then that's what you'll get. She wasn't going to go for that because she know I do more. So she's not going to push the issue with the courts or none of that stuff because she already know what it is when it comes to me as far as being a daddy. You feel me?
Okay, so
my
go.
oldest daughter, hold on, my oldest daughter, mama, like I said, once she got over what she was over, her little bitterness about me having another kid, this, that, and the third, she sent the card back to me. You feel me? When my daughter moved back with her after middle school, she gave the card to my daughter. You feel what I'm saying? Most
So did your
women
child support ever go over 167 a month?
never did, not one time.
Never did.
Not,
Okay,
not one
but you
time.
was doing stuff outside of the 167.
Dog, she stayed with me for 2 years while I was paying that 167. Of
So
course,
you,
yeah.
so you was
Yeah.
doing, 170 total. I got it. So let me go to you. Let me go to you, Aaron. I want to segue into something. Now, none of us on this panel is actually paying child support. We are taking care of our children. But I'm gonna read this from the AJC. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. This is from 2018, and it
We don't have
says,
hook on phonics right now, man.
Hmm?
We don't have
Okay,
hook
cool.
on phonics. You ain't got
Child,
the audio. You don't got the audio book.
I'm only gonna read this a couple of sentences. It says child custody varies from state to state. However, in Georgia, dads are among the fathers with the least amount of time spending with their children. I don't agree with that. What do y'all say?
Amount of time spending with the children.
Right.
That's a lot of. I mean, that could be doing on a lot of factors. They could be like how they come up with a ratio. You can make numbers do whatever you want the numbers to do. Basically, as far as I don't know how they would kind of come up to that, but yeah. So what's your question?
The question is, I want to impose: do y'all feel that y'all spending enough time with your children? Because as men, we all got to work, and I know sometimes I'll be in my office. And my
Yeah.
wife is
Now you
helping.
don't spend a lot of time with your kids because you work a lot, Tony. But I think as far as like me and
Right.
Maxwell and Aaron, I think we spend a hefty amount of time with our kids, given the time that we have available to spend with your kids. Because again, you do work.
Right.
Me, I'm not the custodial parent, so I'm not even with my kids. But I
Yeah,
do take time out for my children
yeah.
all the
It,
time.
But
it's
you run. Go ahead, Aaron.
it's roles, because me and Tony, I know Tony know, like me, even when I'm home, me being the primary income for the house, I still kind of isolate myself to kind of do paperwork and do those things right there, and they know that. And when I come up there and spend time with them, I don't spend as much time with mom. It's just a different kind of roles, and until you kind of put yourself in the way you can have your business making money, you at home spending time with your kids. You got to kind of build that, to kind of get there. But I try to, incorporate my son and like my daily things that I do when he's
I
off
heard
run.
a, a,
Uh,
a, a quote from TD Jakes, right? And I shared it on my page a while ago, but what it was saying was basically, if I have the time, I don't have the money. And if
Right.
I have the money, I
I
don't
don't
have
have
the
them at
time.
the time. Right.
You feel me? So
yeah,
it's a fine line because
exactly.
me
How you?
not being me not being a custodial parent, like I said, that I do try to grab. Even my kids older, so I do try to grab them. Even if I do, because they like different things. So like I said, I took my girl, my youngest daughter out for seafood a couple of weeks ago. Me and my 17-year-old went and got, some. We went to the movies, as you know, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to Atlanta, that's when I get to see my son and my oldest daughter. I just took my 24-year-old. We went and got our feet done a couple of weeks ago. But that's not something that happens every month. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because here again, there's a fine line between working when you are now here again, as far as financially, I'm the breadwinner, regardless. Still, when it comes to me and my kids' moms, you know what I'm saying? I'm the
Right.
breadwinner. So I do work a lot more to try to supplement my own expenses and still making sure my kids good. That's not going to allow me the time that my kids might want. Because there are a lot of times where they want to do something and I don't have time. So it's definitely understandable if you don't, because you're trying to put yourself in a position to where you could be financially comfortable. But in the process, you still have to sometimes shut that down.
Okay.
You got to sometimes shut that down because they're going to remember, and this is an old cliche. This is a saying that's been for years. You know, I've been hearing this all my life. Those kids going to remember the time you spent with them more so than the money
Exactly.
that you spend on them.
And what do you think about that, Tony? By working, Tony is
That
working. I'm gonna bring
that
Tony
goes
in.
into, that's what though that goes into child support too. So I don't know why that's not implemented as much as the financial part of child
What
support.
do you mean? What do you mean? Talking about spending time with your children?
Yeah,
People don't
right.
ask for it. They don't ask for it. They just won't. They just
Here
be.
again. If I'm a daddy, I'm paying child support, and I'm doing more. I want to see my kids more than just the weekend. You basically cutting me out my kids' lives.
But okay, but here's the thing. Because when you split time with your children, you got certain days. Some people only got every other weekend and holidays.
That's what I'm saying. You cutting me out my child's life.
And for me, I don't even want to imagine having visitation with my children because
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
so used to waking up, bothering my daughter, bothering
Now
my
we talked
son.
about this morning, Tony. We talked about
What's
this
that?
morning. That a lot of women choose the system.
They choose the system, and we're
And
going
the
to get into
system,
that.
the
Keep
system
going. I'm going to bring that up.
the system cuts a man out. The system cuts a man out.
Yeah, but like you said, one thing that Maxwell was saying earlier, how important money, and that's why you have to balance the time and money a lot of time, because Maxwell was able to afford a lawyer to put on him a lot of game that can help him in his situation and stuff like that. These women being in child support, as soon as they probably group together, put their heads together, and they figure out a way to kind of come to the man and the man coming to court not prepared, no lawyer, no nothing, just nothing but a whole bunch of anger and a whole bunch of stuff that he just seen on some kind of him and his homeboys been talking about. And then really, honestly, the average men on child support seem like they don't know anything about the child support process other than the amount of money they paying and they complaining about.
You know, the average man. Go ahead, Tony.
Do you know that the female can have you pay for her lawyer? She can she can have you pay for her lawyer.
Yeah.
If you lose the case, right?
No, like if she don't have no money, if she don't have no, like if she going for child support and she says she don't have the money, the judge can order you pay for her lawyer.
Oh wow.
Well, let me read this real quick. Let me read this real quick.
Do they let her pick the lawyer? Boy, I picked one of the lawyers over in
okay.
I gotta pick it. I gotta pick the lawyer.
Let me read this real quick. Let me read this real quick, Buck. Let me read this real quick.
It's gonna take all night.
Yeah, I understand. One of the most important social changes unfolding in the United States over the past half century has been the decline of the institution of marriage, a decline especially steep among blacks. In 1960, roughly 74% of whites were married, and the rate dropped to 56% in 2008. This is a big drop, but not compared to the plummeting rate of blacks. In 1960, 61% of blacks were married in 1960, but by 2008, it was only 32%. Blacks getting divorced more often and remarrying less frequently than whites. What do you think of that? Go, Buck. Go, Buck.
Tell you what.
We go to you next, Maxwell.
Especially, it's a woman culture. It's a woman's culture. If you listen to these women over the past, I'm gonna say 15 or 20 years, though, a lot of women feel like being strong means independent. Being strong means not being where my grandmama used to be at or doing what my grandma used to do. I'm not going back more.
Okay, what did your grandma used to do though?
But they're not gonna sit at home and cook all day. They're not gonna.
You gotta go back more, Buck. You gotta go back further than that. But
I'm just saying.
Well,
In my
Claudine
time,
came out in what, 74? Y'all remember Claudine?
but what I'm saying is that's now a trend, and I hate to say that like that, but it's a trend now. Dog, I got a 15 and 17-year-old daughter who talk about independence like they really independent, and that's what a lot of women today, white women too. These
I
women,
just read as white woman. I just read
I'm
that.
just saying,
But the
it's like
decline is more
it's a
from.
cultural movement.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Maxwell tells the history lesson. Go ahead, Maxwell. What you got?
it ain't that, man. Let me tell you something. The system is designed to break your home. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the system is. The system is buying for. Okay, think about it. Look at it like this. The white man look at you, and I hate to say it, whatever. But the white man look at you, and they look at, well, you know what? They see this couple. You don't need him. How about we put you in a house? We give you government housing. We give you food stamps. Only thing you got to do is keep him out your house.
That's
That's
them.
Claudine.
Listen.
Did
They
you see
want
Them
Claudine?
choosing.
yeah. They
That's
wanna.
the women
They
That's
wanna.
what Buck said.
choosing the system. That's
Yeah.
the women that's choosing the system. I'm talking about these women who will walk away from their marriage because they say they're not happy.
Exactly.
And once they feel like their freedom and that strength come from them struggling, from doing it on their own, from doing it by themselves.
Like the girl Erica Mena. Erica Mena, not to cut you off, Aaron. Erica Mena left Safari. Now he only have to pay her 40. They was living in a mansion. He only have to pay her $4,300 a month in a month. She went on camera crying. She's crying.
And another
but
thing,
let's read this. Let's read
hold
this.
up.
This young lady said, "Go ahead."
Hold up, dog. And another thing too, people don't even much like that word marriage is so strong and it's broad. You feel me? Women walking away because they're not happy. You feel me? A woman gonna walk away before a man walk away. A man will sit in his unhappiness and try to get his stuff together. Because here again, all four of us done been married and are married. How many times you ain't been happy in your marriage?
Yeah, it can happen when you're not happy.
Listen.
It can happen.
Listen.
Yeah.
You might not be happy today. Okay, we men, I know in my marriage financially, this is why I always work the way I work, because I wasn't never happy financially.
Okay.
I never wanted to leave my marriage.
Exactly.
You feel me? These women, the trend is look on Facebook, dog, look on social media. You see it all the time. The trend is I'm a strong black woman. I do not need a man. And because of that phrase right there, these women will walk away quick.
Okay,
They'll
go ahead,
walk
Aaron.
away
quick. Going with what Maxwell was saying earlier, it is a system, and that was only one system that you put women in a position where that's their best option. Then they go ahead and then they go with as far as black men, then they go with it locking them up. Designing ways to get them locked up. Then that's another way of separating a man from the house. And then back then again, the household was based on a business structure where families could spend more time together, right? They tried that. They got a Tulsa situation. They got a lot of situations. They don't want to see that where, with a business and a well-established business, like we're trying to establish business now, but it was already established. We can spend more time with the kids. And that goes through generation and generational. So a lot of time, everything is a structure where they kind of set things up. The even the houses where and they give these government houses it's not necessarily the safest areas. It's you have a lot of crime and end up having a lot of drugs there. And if they want to. When they want to crack down on drugs, they'll let the drugs go and then over police it, lock people up.
But hold up real quick. Let me read these comments real quick. Hopefully I'm pronouncing the right way. Moxie Monet, the only child support a child needs is both parents in the household.
Yep.
And then she says, if that's possible, okay, we're going to elaborate. Multiple women are walking away from multiple reasons. There has to be a level. Hold up, let me read it. I don't have to agree with it. I'm gonna just read it. There has to be a level of honesty amongst men and women, men and honesty among women.
She
And then
right.
she says the black woman is the most educated person in America. And we're going to debunk some of these. And the only race of women who are more educated than their own man. Okay. And all hold up, I'm gonna let you elaborate. All by design by the man, implemented by to be separated by black men and black women. All right, so Maxwell, you had something to say on that topic. All right, so women are walking away from multiple reasons. There has to be a level of honesty.
Okay.
I disagree.
Why would
Let me
they?
go. Let me
Why
go.
would they?
No,
Let me ask you one thing.
Maxwell.
Why? You got to look at it like this right here. Why would they want to be if the government giving them money, roof over their head, paying their bills for them, you paying their rent for them? Some of them got dollar rent or free rent.
Okay.
Why would they want to? Why would they want to settle down with a man who gives them a headache? Why would they want to sit there and go back and forth?
Okay, we all know for sure that system is designed for them to become stuck too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. But they don't see that. They don't see that.
Again,
they
that's
don't
not
see that.
smart. That's not smart, and that's not educated.
I understand what you're saying, but they don't see that. They looking at the come up. They thinking they coming up.
But that's just part of it. Now, what she's saying as far as, I don't even expect a woman to stay around getting cheated on, getting beated on, you know what I'm saying? Being controlled.
I like that. I don't think a woman should be controlled.
You got a lot of cases, dog, where my group of friends, they all single. I see them doing their thing. I'm not happy here. You feel me? And a lot of women, but you got to put a lot of blame on the men too.
Okay.
You got to put a lot of blame on the men too, because we as men, and I don't think a lot of women see this, that if I'm trying to build us something, it's gonna take time. I'm gonna need your support. I don't need you whining. I don't need you griping when you know what I'm trying to do. A man I don't know a man who want to struggle with his family.
Absolutely not.
I do not know a man that want to struggle with his family.
No.
But
and that's
what
why
what a woman will see,
sir.
She not gonna see you hustling. She not gonna see you busting your behind. She not gonna see you trying to create some type of financial freedom for her. She's gonna see we not spending time together. She gonna feel neglected. She gonna feel neglected in the process. You feel what I'm saying? She gonna feel neglected and all that. And that's what's happening. She gonna feel neglected and all that. She gonna feel left out. Now, if there is not a healthy communication period with the man and the woman, I believe that's how my marriage fell off. You know what I'm saying?
But 78% of marriages in the black community, I can't speak for all, are filed by women. So there got to be a breakdown of communication if 78% of marriages are filed by women.
Dog, I'm telling you, dog.
They don't want to communicate. Why should they communicate when they get everything they want?
A woman to
They're not going to do that.
This ain't happened to me, but what I'm saying is I done seen this job. A woman will leave a hardworking man for a bum.
For saying a woman would tell a man and may cheat on a man for a man saying that you work too much. The bum had more time, then sometimes they will pick the person who got more time for them, but necessarily, but in a relationship, they'll fuss at you for not having enough money, but they'll leave you. They'll leave you for trying to get the money.
Right.
I would never go get a bum who can't even buy her a burger.
I would never even encourage a woman to or a man, because like I said, men tend to stay well beyond their unhappiness. A man will literally lose himself trying to make sure his household good. You don't see too many men walking away, dog. You don't see too many men walking away.
No, a man is not going to wake up today and say, I'm leaving my family. We just don't think that way. Now, even the dude that cheats the most still won't leave his family. and but a man shouldn't be cheating on his old lady. But I'm just saying, a lot of men they're not going to leave. But quiet your microphone, ear almighty. But what I'm saying is, it's not good. So happiness is the state of mind. Men must do a better job of collecting and building. A man should have himself together before he creates a family. I'm gonna disagree with that, but
no, Tony. The real talk. That's happiness is a state of mind, dog.
happiness state of mind. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the third sentence.
Happiness is a state of mind, but that should go
Okay.
that kind of sort of go both ways. I can't create a family without a woman.
Correct.
Both points should be on par.
So
Both
maybe
points should be on par.
right. We both should be on par. A woman needs to know that, guess what? Because you choose me, I'm not responsible for your happiness. I'm responsible for helping you maintain your happiness and vice versa.
Okay, I agree with that. What about how you feel about that, Maxwell? I agree with that.
Oh, I'm on point. You know me. You know me. I'm a team player.
Definitely be responsible for helping each other.
Now, but I'm also say this: a lot of men are responsible for tearing women down, even if you don't want to admit it. A lot of men is responsible. Nah, a lot of men. A lot of men play a role.
I can't say that. I can't say because I'm not a lot of men. I can't speak for myself. I'm not a lot.
And the person who say I'm not most men probably done tore a woman down.
No, it goes both ways, T.
So
if hurt people. If you broken,
hold on, talk over each other. Let's see a Tony lie. Go ahead, Tony.
Hurt people. If you broken, whether you man or woman, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It goes both ways.
So hold up. So hold up. But so Tony, you are telling me you as a man, I probably done did some things to my wife, probably done broke her. So you're telling me on this panel that you have never contributed to hurting the opposite sex.
We all have. I'm not saying. I said it goes both ways.
But you just said.
I said it goes both ways, T.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Women. So you mean to tell me? So you mean to tell me in your happy home? You mean to tell me your happy home? Your wife never hurt your feelings. Your wife never hurt you.
Hurt my feelings?
Yes.
Man, I've been raised by Master P. I'm a no-limit soldier. No,
Man,
she never hurt me.
So you telling me
I've been raised by
Master
P. I've been raised by Master P. I'm a no-limit soldier. No.
So you telling me on this panel you ain't never got hurt before by a woman?
Listen, Shawty just said, men and women got to be honest. Honesty on my part is, I was destroyed in my marriage. When my wife cheated on me, dog, and told me I was working too much, this, that, and the third. You don't think that was totally messing man up?
I think
you don't think that? But bro, I'm telling you.
Okay, so this young lady say the issue. Hold on, let's read this real quick. She say the issue. That's the issue. The man put his desires before priorities. Then she said, "Time." Go ahead.
Time wouldn't be an issue if man had his priorities in line before he
started. No, I reread that one. This was the one.
He decided to create a man. Now, here again, it always take two.
Okay.
Even if you think you got yourself together, if you've never been married or never had a family, just because you might be financially stable going into a relationship, that's a fraction of what you need. You need to be mentally and emotionally together before anybody decide to take that leap, because that's a total different ball game right there. Because now you dealing with somebody that got control. Y'all both have control over the other as far as y'all emotions and y'all feelings and y'all mental state of mind. Money ain't got nothing to do with that. So it's all a state of mind as far as like a lot of the stuff. If I got married now, I'm better equipped now to be married than I was 22 years ago.
That's why they say most men should get married at 35 and older versus getting married you got married at 21, correct?
I got married at 22.
22. So 22. So, but a lot of times they say a man does not find his financial stride until he's 35.
It ain't even so much of the financial scribe, dog, because you could be
Yeah.
happy. Listen, you could be happy and have a successful, healthy marriage poor. You can be.
Oh,
And you
but
can be
what level
rich.
of poor?
Listen, what I'm saying is you don't have to be rich to have a successful relationship or a successful marriage or a successful family. You don't have to be rich to do that, dog. Because how many rich people you see getting divorced? Lots of them. These people not mentally ready. These people not emotionally ready for marriage. They not mentally or emotionally ready for marriage, dog. Money don't have nothing to do with that. Money ain't
Okay,
got anything to
so
do with that.
the thinking amongst black men is extremely detrimental. And then here, all of the conversations are reactive and not proactive.
Well,
And
no,
here,
you do
no,
have
and
proactive
here
comments.
you say it takes two, but your woman cheated because you couldn't give her time. Think about that for a second.
Okay. Now let's and this was, after we calmed down after our divorce and our storm was over and we got down to talk, I could have thought of several different ways or several things that was affecting me. That if I chose to cheat on her, I could have had a thousand excuses. I could have made 1,000 excuses for that.
But
You feel
did
me?
you but did you revenge cheat?
I didn't revenge cheat. Years later, I did. But here again, when I do tell my story as far as that concerned, I go back to the broken person that I was. I go back to the person that had no idea of what healing was like and how healthy healing would have been if I had outlets to help with that situation. I kept it in. I didn't talk about it a lot. Very few people knew about it. But I should have gotten some type of counseling, some type of help because I was broken on the inside. And I became so vulnerable to any female that made me feel like somebody. You feel what I'm saying? So I had a situation with a female, and in my mind, it's like, well, dang, my wife, who I'm busting my behind for, who I'm coming home from work, cooking for, cleaning up for, I'm doing everything she doing in our house. I'm doing. You feel me? Now I ain't doing much for this girl here, but she appreciate the hell out of me. You feel me?
You don't think it was a mirage because she appreciating you?
I don't know what I'm telling you is you become so broken on the inside that something like that does hype you up. It's like you looking for something to boost your morale as a man. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you, a lot of men just want to feel appreciated.
Okay.
A lot of men just want to feel appreciated.
Do you feel
Respect.
you feel the same way, Tony Maxwell?
Um, he said he's
Oh, Aaron left. Well, Tony left.
But a
Like
lot of dudes, a lot of
we
dudes,
start, we you
because
start talking.
listen, you don't know
Hold up.
you don't know it all. You feel what I'm saying,
Mhm.
my man? We don't know
Sorry,
it all.
I don't know what happened.
We
I don't
don't
know. I
know
don't
it
know.
all. We do have to grow up. There needs to be some level of understanding when it comes to definitely creating a family. Money is just not gonna do it on its own, bro. Money not gonna do it on its own. If you look at the marriage vibes, if you look at that covenant that you have between somebody and marriage, like I said, a lot of people not even equipped for what's going to happen inside of a marriage.
That's true.
Okay.
That's
That's
gonna
true.
be, listen, and this is just real. At times, that's gonna be the person you hate the most, and that's gonna be the person you love the most.
You talking about your spouse?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
yeah.
true.
Tony, I was, but
That's gonna be
actually,
the
hold up,
person
Buck.
you
I
hate
was
the most, and
gonna,
that's gonna be the person you love the most.
hold up, but Buck, I was going to Tony. So Tony, in your relationship, and I don't want to deviate too far from child support, but we basically start answering the calls from the panelists here.
Mm.
You say it takes two, but your woman cheated because you couldn't give her time. Think about that for a second. Do you think because you couldn't give your spouse time, does that give her a right to cheat?
I'm gonna
There
be
is
honest with. I'm gonna be
No,
honest
hold
with
up. This
you.
Maxwell. I'm gonna come to you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did cheating. I've been cheated on. I've been married. I've been divorced. I didn't have the counseling before my marriage. I had the counseling after. My belief is right now, I don't believe in divorce. And my belief is there's no reason to cheat. If like both of y'all stated, the younger you don't know when you go
What
through
you
life, and
got?
like you say, you should get married at a little older age when you mature enough, then you can have a better thought process about life. There's never really a real reason to cheat. You know what I'm
No,
saying? That's just a selfish act. That's how I
that's what
really
it
feel
is.
about it. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on the individual.
Okay, let me tell. Let me. I'm just going, and I hope Shawty listening.
She
When it
here, she
comes
typing. She
when
typing.
when it comes to time, right? You got to think about this. Y'all together, we together. It's two of us. So whatever time she not getting, I'm not getting either, right?
Okay.
Whatever time she ain't getting, I ain't getting. That didn't make me want to go out and cheat.
Okay.
And like I said before, you in the house with 5 kids, and you feel a financial burden. That burden gonna be felt more so on that man than it is that woman.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Not
that
necessarily.
woman,
Not necessarily.
that woman,
Hold on. Let Aaron. Well, Aaron,
that
go ahead,
woman.
Aaron.
If you think about it, that women want security. That's their main
Yeah.
thing. They want to marry you because they feel like, okay, now they got security. This is mine, and money security. If
Money,
you if
financial
yeah,
is security.
yeah. So if even if you out there working and if she feeling some financial stress, she feel like, man, how I'm gonna feed your kids? So she's stressed out too, just like the man stressed out. The burden is
Mhm.
on both people because like if
There
you
you
ain't
go.
money, they looking like, oh man, they can't they can't go out there. They don't know what to buy or when to buy it or what I'm saying, like what to spend the money. They want to get something for the kids, and then So I think the burden is on both sides when as far as trying to deal with it when it's talking about
It
finance.
it's on
Also,
both sides. But what I'm saying is, as a man, you gonna take that burden. You gonna carry more of that load. You're not gonna leave it on her.
what kind of burden you going to take
What I'm
more?
saying is, it was a time, though, I could remember back then, I was working like 15, 16 straight days, 12 hours a day to get over the hump. So we would be able to do more stuff together. So we would be able to, you know what I'm saying, get our kids what we wanted them to have or some of the stuff that they want to have. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't working extra days. She wasn't working extra hours. You feel me?
Yeah,
I was like you, Tony Marshall. You pull way more work hours out in your house than your wife do, and I'm sure Aaron do the same, and I'm sure Maxwell do the same.
exactly.
I'm sure. So what I mean is we'll take more of the action as far as trying to get our family out the financial, hole or put ourselves in a better position financially. And we doing it for our family. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like I'm out
Absolutely.
here trying to make a boatload of money to go spend it on another woman or to go create another family. I'm trying to make sure my house could stand.
But sometimes this break down into communication. Sometimes
It
men
does.
just do,
It
but they're
does.
not explaining to their spouse why they going so hard.
And
And
guess what? Guess
go
what?
ahead.
How many of us know how to, especially when you're young, how many know how to effectively communicate? Not many.
True.
Not
True.
under
Right.
duress. Not under duress. Not under stress. Not when their emotions high. Not many.
Well, yeah, but that's why that's what the issues of the relationship might be, and like what Maxwell said earlier, you know, at the end we know the relationship is almost you got to have a plan with the partner, and like the roles change. Is what I found out. And that's why I found out earlier, and I was like, man, you know what, you know, I want a woman that made some money. And Tony would tell you that, what I'm saying? Hey, you ain't making no money, because I grew up with a single parent, and I knew what it had to be with no money and the struggles and stuff like that. I said, man, if
Right.
two people making money, it'd be better. But when we start having a family and she started having kids, when you start thinking about trying to take care of that, she's naturally going to be better at taking care of the kids, which is a lot of
In some cases. Now, my
that's
wife
her
is
strength.
good, but every woman ain't good at taking care of kids. Mine is,
That
but some of them are trash.
you're right. But a lot of times is that we try to, and a lot of times, like I said, relationship, you just get lucky sometimes. You know, if you got a good woman, you know, is out here, it can go either way. You know, they can do whatever, but, you know, yes, some women are trash. And then, but you know what?
No, I didn't call the
We,
woman trash. I'm talking about their parenting ability is
well,
trash.
their parenting ability might be trash, but a lot of times, and like you said, we don't strategically. I didn't necessarily. I just looked at the money, but we don't strategically pick our relationship as far as men. You know, a woman might strategically pick their relationship. You know, as far as finances and as far as different things like that. You know, that she might look at it, but man, we don't look at it looking like, okay, does this girl right here? Does she know how to? Does she know? Does she know how to do the house? You know, have I met her mother? What does her mother do? What is she learn?
Right.
Know how to do?
Right.
You know, can she cook? You know, with men, we don't even care until we with her and they complain about she don't cook. She got on bad and got a big ass or something like that. We looking like, and that's that, you know, and we kind of continue in that relationship and be like, okay, cool. And then she got an attitude, and now all these other things that can't come along with it. But it's just like it's ways where you can kind of tell, you know, where she gonna kind of be at as far as that. So I mean, but I finish up by saying this. I would say that, you know, a lot of times, you know, men will stay in a relationship longer because they use cheating as their coping. That's how they're able to stay in a relationship longer. A woman think as far as a relationship, she's gonna keep it. Women normally keep relationships a little bit more sacred than man on average. Meaning that I'm with my man, I'm taking and stuff like that. And then a man would be completely like, man, I'm in a strong, real relationship and be cheating. A woman would tell you that, oh man, my relationship a little shaky. But man would believe that, man, you know what? My relationship is 100% rock solid and be cheating. You know what I'm saying? So I know, and
That nigga talking about my
they would stay
relationship is
in a
100%
relationship.
rock star. They be cheating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would stay in a relationship longer. Yeah, because a lot of times they yeah, who what or they work or their job be shaky. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you have to kind of. That's my opinion about where the versus why men stay in relationship versus when women stay in relationship. I'll let somebody else go on.
Let's
But you're
read
right.
this real quick.
And
But
Shawty right. I read that.
but your
And
logic is
man,
backwards. Hold on, let me read it. You have kids and get married before you are stable, before you have had therapy, before you have built your connection with the higher power. All of this can be avoided. Well,
and
well, go ahead.
she
It's called
is,
life.
listen, sweetheart. I promise you.
She right, but it's
You
called life. Things happen.
you are right. You are right.
But
And that's why I
but
stated earlier that I would be more equipped now to experience the things that I experienced at 22. When you at 22 years old, you're not thinking about none of that. You pretty much like you going off emotions. You ain't thinking about, you know what I'm saying? We making babies. We ain't thinking about the financial burden. We're not thinking about stuff like that. We young and dumb, pretty much. So our conversations now and probably for the foreseeable future, what I'm on is, you know, finding myself. Do I want a relationship? Yeah. Am I gonna press the issue for one? Nah. At
but
44 years old, a father of 5 kids, 4 of them about to be in college. I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
you're doing pretty good. But let me
But
jump on with something Tony just said. Hold up, real quick, Buck. You say things happen. And and sometimes that's what I don't like about the black community. And I love being black, but I don't like about the black community. When I look at these shows of different cultures, their parents are involved in their child's spouse choosing. In
Mhm.
our communities, we get a girl pregnant and then we say, we gonna marry them. Like the young lady that say, Miss Monet, we don't have no therapy. We never met the family. We never met anything about you. You don't even know this person, and you shooting a club up
But
on
here
GP.
again, she is right. All of that happens. What Tony said, life stuff does happen. But let's dig a little deeper into your marriage vows. You feel me? First and foremost, you need to make sure you understand what you're getting into, because it's a line in your vows that stress for better or for worse.
But you talking
Everybody
about
not
vows, but I just
listen,
read only
listen.
32% of the black community is getting married. So ain't no
Everybody
vows.
Dog, listen, everybody not ready for the for worse part, my nigga. Everybody not ready for that.
It ain't even a for
I
worse.
would say
People
this
are
here,
not getting married.
bros. And listen, I done talked to women who say they'll never get married because of what they saw. Here again, I wouldn't base being not being married off of my experiences in the marriage. Because I could tell you this. I could tell you this here. My marriage itself was beautiful. People will be like, well, why y'all got divorced? Here again, there are times where the best marriages, it's a line. And I'm telling you, it's going to be different for everybody, but there's a line. And I feel like if you could cross that line where your marriage is at its worst,
I will
if you
say,
could listen,
I will say this, but right here, we wouldn't get into a business without signing an LLC, right? We won't go into
exactly.
that'd be crazy. He's like, why would you do that? But a lot of times we get into business with these women. I know I did before I got married. And then that's kind of against the natural law of things, where even if you could go into religious things, but there's a lot of teachings that it gives you a wisdom about relationships. And that's
True
one
that.
thing that they kind of that's kind of thing where once you go against the natural laws and once you go against what was supposed to be right by the man and woman having a commitment before they have kids, a lot of things are stemmed from that. If you go
And it
if,
does.
if you go against that, if you make it, you are the one of the lucky people.
Here again,
I was one of the lucky people. But
it,
if you think about it, if you abstain for sex before you get married, boy, the clarity, because things get so fogged up when you have sex.
here
So
again.
so people do that, and now we got to have a reverse conversation and try to figure everything out because we started things wrong.
That's why I said here again, when I was young, my relationship and my marriage was based pretty much on emotions, how we felt about each other. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now, not even realizing that throughout your marriage, and I trust me, I know all y'all done experienced this. Your feelings done changed a time or two.
Yep.
Your feelings done changed a time or two. They're gonna change in your marriage. They're not gonna always be the same. Like you said earlier, Aaron, that as you grow, the needs become different, the wants become different, the conversation should become different. You know what I'm saying?
They
The
better become
roles,
different.
the roles become different. And I wasn't ready for that. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was. I wasn't ready for that, and I'm quite sure she wasn't ready for that. She was 20.
Exactly. Yeah.
She was 20. So no, now, here again, now, me and Tony used to talk about this all the time. He treat his marriage like a business. I would treat my marriage like a business. My next marriage would be treated like a business because guess what you're not gonna do in your business? You're not gonna do nothing to affect your bottom line in your business.
And that's why I don't affect my marriage.
You feel what I'm saying? You're not gonna do nothing to affect your bottom line in your business.
Exactly.
One thing you do with your business is you keep your feelings out your business. Everybody you deal with is a customer. You don't have no friends. You know, they might be acquaintances because you've been dealing with them for so long. But I bet you take your
Kids,
feelings out of it.
but kids got to be communicated with, and I think they'll be wise to say, "Hey, even if we do certain things, this is the mistakes I made, and this is why it's this. I give you that wisdom so you won't do the same thing again."
Same thing.
You know,
And
a lot
another thing
of times,
too,
kids,
how
because
many of us,
Hold on, don't talk on Mr. Cooper. Hold on, Buck Rogers.
boy,
Go
brush
ahead.
your chin.
Yeah, yeah.
what happened?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we
It,
listen.
No. What I was saying was that kids are more heavily influenced on what they see than what they hear.
True
So
that. True
so
that.
if when you look at things like that, when the house isn't in that structure, you just got to do a lot of explaining and do a lot of things to try and say, hey, this is why I do it. I wish I would have done this. If I would do it over, I'd probably be doing it this way, because you can kind of set that thing where somebody got to be the person who do the research so they can at least see it. Now they might change to do what they want to do or whatever like that, but even a lot of times in some family, even if they do make a mistake, the family that has the two parents in there are able to help the kid from their mistake by watching the kid, helping them financially, keeping them inside the house, or having that structure. But there's a lot of times I'm not even there. Should the mama, like, you know, that I'm saying they all, it's like the grandparents now, the new grandparents, which is us about to be. We all
We out in the club.
Right.
Can you imagine our generation being some grandparents right now?
Well,
We all
Buck is a grandparent.
Bro, listen, I am a grandma. I am a
No,
grandparent.
you said it right. You're a grandma. You heard it right. He said, I'm a
I said
grandma.
grandparent. I'm a
You
grandparent.
heard it right. He said,
And
grandma.
this is what I talk about when it comes to, like you said, Aaron. I saw my grandparents. You feel me? My mama parents. I never. My daddy parents was dead a long time ago. I never met them. But my mama parents, they were heavily involved in our lives. You feel what I'm saying? As far as grandparents are concerned. So with me and my grandson, even though he live in Atlanta, if you see me on Facebook, I make that trip every couple of weeks. You feel what I'm saying? I make that trip to spend time with my grandson. These grandmamas today, dog, everybody for
Right.
self.
But let me
comment.
segue. Let me
No
segue.
comment.
And what she saying,
Hold on,
what
let me
Shawty
segue
said.
in this.
Child
support. I'm about to go to Tony because he's quiet on this. Child support shouldn't be the topic. It should be how do we avoid child support and build more two-parent household.
Okay,
No. This is a panel. This ain't no thumbs up.
No.
If you no, okay, so you still.
How do we do it?
How do we do it?
How do we do it?
Yeah.
Respect.
Exact communication, respect.
Communication and respect.
Boundaries.
Communication and respect.
Take feelings out of it. Take the feelings out of it.
You got, cause that's the thing. And my mama, when I was going through my divorce, my mama was telling me and my ex-wife there at the time, y'all take y'all feelings out of this. Take your feelings out of it.
So going through a divorce, I got a question. How do you feel about parents talking to their children about the other parent? How do you feel about that, Buck?
I mean, it's like this here. Here again.
Hold on, Buck. And then I'm gonna come to you.
Listen, and this just a true state. Dependent on the level of bitterness, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
I like it? No, I don't like it.
So you're telling me if I get bitter with my wife, I'm gonna talk about my wife to my children? I don't think so.
Here again,
I'm not gonna do that.
Listen to me, because he ain't let me finish.
Never say never.
I'm
not gonna do that. Listen, I already know it's never.
I wouldn't do that. You feel me? I
know it's never.
I didn't talk about her, but she talked about me. You know why? Because they told me. You feel me? But here again, you got to understand something. When I say a person know who they dealing with, dog, you could be mad and you could say whatever out of anger because you in your feelings. But then once you get that calm down period, and sometimes it does take people, you know, it takes some longer than others to honestly feel like they over certain situations. Okay. Now, you was on the phone with me and Trina, Tony, and that girl still was talking about Sasha and Candace.
Man, don't bring up names, man.
But listen, you was on the
that
phone,
girl may
right?
even see this panel. She may
Sasha,
see this.
Sasha and Candy.
It don't matter.
Candace.
I got nothing to do with this.
Listen, you know, it don't matter. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay,
listen,
hold up.
I'm trying to make a point.
Make your point. Go ahead.
She was talking about them, right? She mentioned them names, right?
Okay.
That stuff was almost 20 years ago.
It was.
Yeah. I got
but one person. No. Before you leave, I know your wife beat. I know we're gonna do the next one. How not to get beat by your wife. But before you leave, I wanted to ask one question. I know you gotta leave. How do you feel about if you and your spouse are going through a disagreement? Would you go to your children and talk bad about your spouse to your children? Would you do that?
You're not supposed to. No,
that's probably.
I don't agree with it.
On that, you know, then probably try to do it. because it kind of do those things. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. No, I won't do that. You know?
Right.
And
Okay.
that's why you don't do stuff in front of your kids. You don't beef in front of your kids
Because they're always watching. So Tony, you don't agree with that. All right. So
No,
cool.
I
Let's
don't.
go to. Let's read another. I know you got to leave, Aaron. I appreciate you coming on.
All right.
Tell the wife, say hello. Put down the whip. I know she be beating you.
How you know my wife?
I don't know your wife, but I know she beat you.
All right.
All right. So when you are young, as men, when you are young men, I think young men, the reality is you married or had children with the woman you had chemistry with. When a man have to marry,
when as a man you have to marry for compatibility first. Here again, everything she's saying is on point. Here again, you talking about a 22-year-old. You talking about a young man who none of this stuff was even on the forefront of his mind at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Just because everybody don't have chemistry to have a baby. You know, they do
No,
no such thing as
you're right about that, but I'm just saying everything she's saying is on point.
Everybody,
she on point.
Everybody don't have chemistry to have a baby, or they don't have chemistry to get married.
Married.
I'm both, because look at it like this right here.
The sexual part. She talking about the sexual part, but what I'm saying is
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not disagreeing with it. What I'm saying is,
I agree with what she's saying, but some of the stuff I'm saying is like come on now. So y'all no one never had when you're young, you stupid. You do a lot of crazy things. Never had a one night stand. You never had
and that's the difference. This is the difference between a immature, young-minded person versus a more mature person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold, like, I got a 21-year-old son. You feel me? It's stuff that I'll check my son about, because it's like, okay, dog, I used to do this type of stuff when I was young. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold it against him. He a 21-year-old dude. He in college. You know what I'm saying? He a 21-year-old dude. He in college. Like, I'm giving him the game from my point of view. I never been to college. You feel what I'm saying, dog? So to have my son in college, as a parent, I feel like it's a lot of stuff that I'm telling him, or his mom telling him, or stuff that he's seeing for him to take that route in the first place. I ain't never been to college, dog. And next year, Lord willing, I'm gonna have 4 children in college. We giving them game that we didn't get as from our parents.
That's how you're supposed to do.
My parents didn't, like I said, my pops wasn't around me like that. You know, it was a time where I felt like, well, I needed him in my life. He wasn't there. I don't hold that against him. You feel me? But from what I learned from him was to be there for my children. And I believe being there for my kids is making a bigger impact on them than me not being there. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a maturity thing. It's not I'm 18 and I just got life figured out. Nah, you got people
in the light. Get step away from the light.
You got people older than us still trying to get it together, still trying to figure it out. It's life. It don't come instantly, and it don't come overnight. Exactly. I don't care. And like I said about these marriages, money, whatever the case may be, millionaires get divorced, billionaires, nigga, what that nigga name is, all that money, and him and his wife.
Watch the N-word. Anyways, who? A bunch of people. Talking about Tom Brady?
No, not him. Him too, but I'm talking about the billionaire dude with all the money.
Jeff Bezos?
The other one used to be the richest man in the world.
That's Jeff Bezos.
No.
Jeff Bezos.
He talking about the computer dude.
That's Jeff Bezos.
No.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Okay. You feel me? That man got all the money in the world. Money don't make a marriage, dog. You got to be committed to your vows, but you got to understand what you're getting into. And that does take a level of maturity.
But still past that, I think in the Black community, it still goes deeper than that, because if only 32% of us are getting married, then we're not leading by example to our children. Our children just think it's okay to have intercourse, but they don't think that it's okay to be married, because only 32. So that means that every 3 people standing in a circle, only 1 out of 3 is going to get married in the Black community.
They're not teaching that. They're not
I
teaching it.
just said that.
Yeah,
It's not
I'm
they.
agreeing
We
with
are
you.
they.
Yeah. I'm
No. We
agreeing
are
with you.
they. No.
Sweetheart,
We
listen,
are they.
I'm responding to her I'm responding to her comment.
How
No,
are we
I
not they?
preach it.
Listen,
And Tony,
I'm
Tony,
responding to her comment,
now
ma'am,
tell it.
Miss
Go ahead, let Buck
Monet,
respond.
whatever
Let
your
go.
name
Let
is,
read.
ma'am. This is for real. Like the error in my ways, I'm instilling those errors in my children so they don't make the same mistakes. You feel what I'm saying? Like what we're talking about, and I think this is more of us holding ourselves accountable for our actions as young men.
And that's what she's saying
Versus,
here. Only men can hold men accountable. And
and
what
I
I'm
think that's
saying,
I honestly
Tony,
think that's what we're doing. I'm not ducking my behavior. I'm not ducking my actions. I'm not ducking my immaturity as a man. When I was 22, 21 years old, I had my first daughter at 18 years old. So immature. Don't know nothing about being a daddy. Don't know nothing about being a father. Here at 44, I'm still learning how to be a father at 44. But as a father, here again, not tooting my own horn because it wasn't just me. Next year, I will have 4 kids in college. And that says a lot.
that says
You
their
don't,
mother did all the work. Now, what I'm
and you
saying
might be
is,
wrong. You might be wrong.
but let
But
me
I'm
read
just saying,
this.
it
Let me
says a
finish
lot.
reading this. She said, as a woman, it will be great if men advocate for younger black men not to have children out of wedlock and not to get married
True.
before 35.
True.
I just
True.
said that earlier, Miss Monet, that
True.
I got married. Me and my wife got married. I was 31. So I still think that was a decent age for
But I'm
me to
saying,
get
Tony, you
married.
got married 40 years ago. What you is 73 now?
Okay. I still think that was a good time to get married. Now, I didn't get married at 22 because I don't think I would have been a great father at 20. I mean, not a great husband. But to go back to what Tony said, what I'm trying to tell Tony is, you just said that they not teaching it. You are over 40. We are they.
No,
People,
no,
don't take that hat off
no,
again. Please don't do
no,
that.
Hey,
Don't
no.
take your hat
That's
off
not
again.
true, Tony. That's not true, Tony.
I got to
How
go
we
to bed.
not they?
Because first of all,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm one of the ones that preach that speaks that. How many times have me and you had conversations and I always say, brother, I look up to you. You married, you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? How many times have we had them conversations? How many times have
Right.
me and you both done talk to other people married or finna get married or going through a situation, and what do we do? What do we tell them? We're
You
one
tell
of the
me.
few,
Okay.
and that's
But
all I'm saying. Huh?
okay, so I'm gonna say this, and we've been on an hour and 36 minutes. Um First of all, Miss Monet, we're gonna do another panel soon. Please drop your email if you're interested in coming on and we have a verbal conversation on the panel.
Yes, we need.
Um if you want to didn't you say you cheated on your wife? She asking you, didn't you say you cheated on your wife?
She said, "Did I?"
You say
She
she
talking about
cheated
Buck.
and I
She talking to Buck. Buck said he
oh
cheated on. Yeah, she talking to
Buck.
Buck.
Okay, Buck. Okay. Well, he left. Miss Monet, if you want to drop your email, I'll shoot you an email the next time we have a panel with an interesting topic, because we're gonna end the panel soon. But next time we trying to get more people on. This one is called King Talk, where it's more men. But on Thursdays, we're gonna have a panel where it's gonna be men and women, and that's what we're putting together. So if you want to drop your email and want to get on, we would love to have you on. All right, so all I'm gonna say is, Tony, and I'm gonna get back to this. You saying that you are being an advocate for they, but the point is,
No, I'm not
you
they.
didn't.
I'm not they. I'm the
Okay,
one telling you. You say we're they. No, I'm the person that trying to. I'm the one preaching about relationships and marriage, because a lot of people
okay,
don't. A lot of people do not agree with relationships anymore. A lot of people don't agree in marriages no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them so ones that, shoot, I believe in it. I still do. Even though, like I say, even though I was married, I've been divorced. You know what I'm saying? I still believe in it. Now my views have changed. I believe there's no reason to get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of
But
stuff
you
I
got to get
learned
married to get a divorce.
again, that like I said, I learned a lot. I did it backwards. I didn't go to marriage counseling. The same thing I told you when you got married. I said, man, go. What I tell you, go to marriage counseling to try that. Some people, you know, and it's crazy. We as blacks, a lot of us don't believe in counseling. Oh, nothing wrong with it. I don't need no counseling.
Well,
I don't need to.
we're
I
gonna
don't need to do this.
we definitely gonna come on and we're gonna share more topics. We don't want to talk about every topic on just one panel. We definitely gonna come back next week and we're gonna talk about a different topic. So maybe counseling may be one we talk about,
Yes, yes, most definitely, most
or we may
definitely.
talk about you know, it was some things that we talked about that I didn't really want to talk about on this one, but it just led that way because of the questions. But like Miss Monet said, and I'm gonna go back to it, I'm gonna still say we are they, and it doesn't matter if you say that you were not they, you did not marry your baby mother. So you can say whatever you want to, you still a hypocrite in that aspect because you preach
Well,
a
you know what?
marriage, but
You
you
know
did
what?
not marry her.
But it was like this. I take my fault for that, but it wasn't all me on that. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
never
First,
it's
it
never
takes two people have to want it. Two people have to want it.
Okay, I agree. And like I said, we're gonna end this. We've been on an hour and 40 minutes. I think this was a great topic. Child support is something that we definitely going to revisit because it's still aspects of child support we haven't even touched on. And one of them is family court. Family court is such a monster because family court is something where there's no jury in family court. There's only a judge, and that judge serves who is a lawyer and a judge, and it serves as the cashier. So we're going to definitely get in. This has been the first episode of King Talk. We're going to be doing more of these episodes once a week. We're going to be back here on Tuesday at 8 o'clock doing another episode of King Talk. And we're going to be doing more panels where we're going to be bringing in ladies and men, and we're going to be going at it from that aspect as well. So thank you, everybody, for coming on, discussing, you know, for all the Miss Monet for discussing. We definitely going to be back here
Appreciate you.
next week, 8 o'clock, and then we're going to go from there. So we will see you on the next one.
All right. Salute. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.